Welcome up on stage Johan Holgersson with guests. Stage is yours.
Trying to get control, pressure's taking its toll, stuck in the middle zone. I just want you alone. Moccasin game is strong. Way too real to be wrong. Caught up in your
Thank you so much, Sarah. It's a great pleasure to be here in Malmö, my old hometown. Go Malmö, hey. It's also very nice to be here on stage with these three gentlemen. We're going to have a Q&A on marketplaces, and just let me start off by introducing you all. On my far right, we have Kio Odshorn from vidaXL Marketplace. Very welcome to you. We have Hugo Rask Jensen from Komplett Marketplace, and of course, Magnus Fredin, pretty known face on this stage, CEO, CDON Marketplace. Very welcome. Thank you. So just let me jump right into it and ask you, Magnus, can you give me and the audience like a quick flyby, a brief like marketplace for dummies? What is this marketplace thing all about?
So obviously there are many different kind of marketplaces, but if to narrow it down to what we're working with e-commerce, I would say it's an e-commerce platform that allows third-party sellers to upload their products and sell them to consumers. Meaning basically you can be in any industry, you can be an e-commerce website, or you can be working in the physical world, but you can upload your assortment and sell it on the marketplace, which take care of all the transactions and all the customer relations, etc. And then you get the transactions and you can ship the product to your customers.
All right, so we're talking like, on one hand, like a digital go-to-market platform, and on the other hand, like a fulfillment platform. So those are like the two different types of marketplaces, right?
Yeah, Amazon has the Fulfill by Solution as an example.
Right. Yeah. So if I move over to all of you guys, you get the juices flowing. Just a quick question, starting with you, Kio. What's your favorite marketplace worldwide? You can't really choose your own, because that would be like too obvious.
Okay. Yeah, I must say, I don't want to make too much publicity for other marketplaces, but a few years ago we started with a new marketplace that just launched from scratch. It's in France and it's selling tools and garden stuff. And I'm not going to give the name, but what was very good, they started from nothing without zero traffic, and they were able to launch a successful marketplace. And that really opened our eyes. Hey, you have the big players like eBay, like Amazon, they are worldwide. Each country has their own champion. But it's in a country like France, being able to start a marketplace from nothing and being successful, that opened our eyes and say, hey, if they can do it, we can do it ourselves. So that was an example.
All right. And Hugo?
Newegg.com, I don't know if you know that. It's like Komplett in US. We have much of the same DNA as we have. And we started a marketplace 4 or 5 years ago. And we are a kind of inspiration for Komplett, how we're doing it. And we also have a very user-friendly marketplace and simple to understand marketplace.
All right.
I think I have to say Amazon. Maybe not from a consumer perspective, but just the way they have built that scalable platform and converting so much better than all the other e-com players. I think it's very impressive.
I agree. That's my favorite as well. I'm just going to probably mention Amazon 600 times during this talk, but just bear with me, okay? So I'm going to turn to you, Hugo, from Komplett Marketplace. And I have to quote. I read something that Ole Vinje, the group CEO of Komplett, said recently. He said that he wants to move away from being perceived as the home electronics giant and move towards a shopping Eldorado. So what's your take on that, and what's your status right now?
The status right now is we are on track to launch our marketplace first half year of 2017. And we also have an array of exciting partners that will join our marketplace then.
Are we talking, like, as I said before, more like a digital go-to-market platform, or are we talking like fulfillment out of Sandefjord in Norway?
First, it will be a digital platform, but later on we also will launch Fulfilled by Komplett, where our partners can buy logistics services from Komplett.
All right.
And we prefer to say partners, not merchants.
Noted. Okay, moving over to you, Kiyo. Your growth has been staggering the last couple of years. We're talking about 100 million euros in 2015. Maybe 2016 will be even better.
Yeah.
So you sell your merchandise through your own website, but as well through Amazon, eBay, Rakuten, and stuff like that. So what's your status right now?
Yeah, well, as you said, we grow pretty hard and we keep growing. And I think the success is we started with our own brand of home and garden products, and our products are successful. So our products are better priced, better quality than a lot of competition. So we have a very good price point, and that made us very successful seller on marketplaces. That's where we started, and yeah, we launched our websites a few years later because we thought, hey, if marketplaces can sell our products, we can do that ourselves as well. And that went even better when we started to do the marketing ourselves. And yeah, this year we are launching now in November ourselves, our own marketplace, because we think, hey, we've sold on marketplaces for 10 years and we know everything about it, so let's do it ourselves. And I think it will help us grow. We will pass, yeah, we will grow 30 to 40% this year, but I think with the marketplace we can even grow faster than that. So pretty exciting for the future.
Oh, interesting. So if we switch topic and go straight to the consumer perspective, I mean, you've been doing this for a while now. If you look at marketplaces in general, you have like two big stakeholders, probably more, but two main ones, being the consumers and the merchants. So looking from the consumer perspective, so why should you as a consumer buy from marketplaces versus buying from specific online stores?
Yeah, but I think if we look at the market today, I think looking from an e-commerce perspective, I would say that e-commerce today is you need to have the right selection, you need to have the right price, you need to have the right delivery. And I think when you're having a marketplace model, it's very well suited for, you know, all these three ingredients, I would say. And mainly, I would say, basically, is that, you know, when you do build a marketplace, you create, you know, a lot of merchants that are feeding up your selection of assortment, and also are specialists within that area. So basically, you can find a lot of players on the marketplace that are specialists on the marketplace solution, and you also create a very good price point because it's the competitiveness of actually selling something on the marketplace. So that's how I view it.
Okay. So if I just look at my own online behavior, if I visit a marketplace and try to buy something, I'm sometimes a bit confused if the transaction is between me and the marketplace, or me or the merchant, or God forbid me and the logistic partner. So Hugo, your thoughts on this? Which strategies are you assessing when it comes to building trust, building transparency within the marketplace?
Transparency is, I guess, the key word, as you mentioned yourself. We are building it now, so we have all the discussions for now, actually how to do it. But we think it's very important on the product page, it's very clearly who you are buying from. And when you are in the checkout process, you present also who you are buying the products from, the shipping condition, the cost, if you will receive more packets than one package. So the customer, when they press the final button to buy this, they know they are going to receive one package or more packets and the total cost of it. So we don't want to hide anything. We want to make it very transparent for the customer what they actually are buying.
All right. But I think to add to that, I would say that if you are a marketplace, I think you need to take responsibility for the whole transaction. I mean, we do also display very well who is selling the products on our marketplace, but in the end you need to take responsibility to make sure that customers gets happy, whatever your merchants, if the delivery is bad or the customer service is bad, etc. It doesn't matter, you need to take responsibility for it.
So as a consumer, I should be safe within, I'm doing my transaction with the marketplace, and the marketplace will sort all the details around it, right?
I think you need to do that if you're a marketplace, if you're going to be a marketplace. Yeah.
So to elaborate on that, if you look at Amazon in the US right now, this big discussion has been on and off for a couple of years now, with Chinese goods overflowing the whole Amazon platform, buying fake reviews, trying to make sales in a kind of a sketchy way. So what are your thoughts on that in the Nordics in the future? How can we prevent that? Do we want to prevent that, or what? Open question.
We are newbies on this one, but I think it will be very important to review the partner we are onboarding to see if they have good customer review from beforehand, see if they have a good economic, so they can last and give good service for our customer. In the end, as you said, Magnus, is our responsibility because they come to our marketplace for doing the shopping, and in the end, it is us also. They have the final responsibility. It's a good experience for the customer, and also I think we should have a closed loop for reviews, so you can't place a review if you haven't bought a product. So it's not an open review system. Is my thoughts about that.
Yeah, I think as a marketplace, it's very important to, after each transactions, to know if the customer was happy and to measure that, not only for sellers but also for your own sales. And if you see a seller is not making happy customers for whatever reason, you need to be strict on that, because you asked in the question before, what is for consumers the reason to use a marketplace? That's because they like you as a marketplace. They trust you. They give you the trust to handle their transactions. So you must really value that and make sure that you as a seller, but also all the sellers within the marketplace, offer the same level of service as the customer is expecting. And if not, cut off the seller, even if he sells a good number of transactions, because eventually you will lose your customers.
Yeah. I think the compliance work when you're running a marketplace, it's so much bigger than you actually think it is. That's one part of it, and I think, first of all, I would say that if CDON reached that step, that we need to struggle with having such enormous volume with Chinese merchants coming into the marketplace want to sell their products, then I'm probably sitting on Bahamas with a beer. But if that happens, I think you have to be very data-driven and monitor it through data, similar like fraud systems, etc. Because it's, these guys working with it are professional to, actually, make their way forward and try to sell the products on the marketplace. So I think you need to be very, very sophisticated in how you handle this in the future, if you reach that step.
So a super focus on governance, that's what you're saying. That's
and
good.
Compliance, yeah.
So if we move away from the consumer point of view and just take the merchant point of view, and I'm going to turn to you, Kiyo, is it wise for a is it wise for a merchant to sell in one way through his own platform and as well through marketplaces or even several marketplaces? What's your take on that?
I believe so. It's really important when you have products and you want to sell them to reach as many as possible potential customers. And you can do yourself that, but I think there are so many marketplaces out there that they all have their own customer group. And just by putting your products there, you can reach those potential customers and increase your sales. And I think it doesn't, it gets more easy over time. When we started, it was quite difficult to upload your products and make stock connections and price connections with all the marketplaces. But now we are 10 years later, and it's a lot easier. And I think in the future it will be so easy, once you have a system with your products in your stock, to just connect with a lot of marketplaces and sell your products there and increase your sales.
Okay, so widen your horizon to reach a bigger target group, that's what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
Also to internationalize to new countries where you are not present. Instead of investing a lot in marketing, you can go to a marketplace that's already well known there and directly start selling.
Okay. Okay, turning to you, Magnus, again. A specific Qliro Group CDON marketplace kind of question. In what way will focusing on a marketplace contribute to the other brands in the Qliro portfolio? What's the strategy behind that?
I think we don't view the group companies within Qliro Group different than we do with the external merchants outside the group. So for us, it's of course great to have them there to have their assortment, but it's also great for them that we can boost their revenue. But in the long run, it's no difference compared to having external partners. So I would say we handle them the same.
Okay, so just an open question to all of you, in democratic kind of angle. Is marketplaces really democratic? What criteria does merchants need to fill to be to come in and sell through your marketplaces?
I think it's really democratic because eventually the customer is choosing from who he wants to buy. And if there's one product with different sellers, the customer will make the choice based on the price, but also what he see about delivery time and feedbacks, etc. And so the customer is really in control eventually who will be the most successful seller on the marketplaces. And that gives a competition within the marketplace for the sellers to all compete with each other to perform a better service. And I think that's a very good thing because eventually the customer will benefit from it.
Right.
I think you're right, Gio. But also I think it's democratic and quite democratic because also we will restrict what partners you actually want to join the marketplace. I guess you also have some clearance. It's not open to sign up.
Yeah.
So you are doing some checking before you actually are signing the partner to the marketplace.
Magnus, your point?
No, we working with a multi-category marketplace, so we allow many different categories to onboard. Of course, there are some restrictions, but more obvious ones like not being bankrupt, etc. But and also up to our ethical standards and etc. But besides from that, no.
Okay, so it's really democratic. That's what you're saying. Okay, moving into logistics. Finally, something I understand. That's good. If you look at from the logistic point of view, I guess that a fulfillment-based marketplace is more efficient from a logistic point of view than a go-to-market platform. Could you, Hugo, just elaborate a little bit on that? What's the pros and cons with fulfillment versus go-to-market?
One of good things about fulfillment by Komplett will be you can co-sell your product with other products or other partners who are selling the product and also using a fulfillment. And also, I guess, with Komplett and other marketplace, when we have this, we have a very modern and robotic warehouse. We can offer very good prices on the logistic, and also outbound logistic. We probably also can offer very good condition on the outbound logistic because of our size. And we will, of course, let our partners have this. That said, you don't need to be either or. You can do a combination. So I think as a partner, you will do A/B testing to see what product is wise to put on the warehouse at Komplett, and what product should you ship from your own warehouse. And this is pure business decisions for the partner to take.
That's right. Magnus, any comments? I saw you moving rapidly.
I think from my point of view, I think the fulfilled by concept is so much more difficult than you think it is. You need to have the exact same format in your VMS system. Everything needs to flow. You can't stand still for a minute. How are you going to charge your customers when they don't put in the right files, etc., and you don't have the weight on the products? So many things to consider, and I think that's very, it's so much more difficult to do good. I think it's easy to launch, but I think it's very hard to do it very good. And from a CDON perspective, we have so much more to do on what we are having right now, and we want to improve that. And I think that is our core focus at this moment.
All right. But I would just to add to this, and I would just add again, we are newbies, but when we are talking with partners or potential partners at Komplett, many are asking for us, when are we going to offer the fulfillment, because we are actually solving a problem for them. Yeah. Many of the partners is not very good at logistic. We are very good at logistic.
Okay, I hear you. So it's turning to you, Kiyo. You've been focusing on logistics really hard since the beginning, using your Venray warehouse as a central distribution point for Europe. So with your expertise in logistics, what's your take on these answers? Yeah,
well, we've been thinking a lot about it, how to set it up for the sellers. But there's a very big difference between our logistic, which is centralized into one big warehouse with very fast delivery to the various countries. We are in all the European countries. But when we're going to open up the marketplace, then we will get a network structure, like a French seller selling in France, but also a French seller that wants to sell in Italy, and maybe a Polish seller that wants to sell in Croatia. And how could we offer a logistic service for that whole network with one central warehouse? I think that's not possible. And so in the beginning, we will not focus on the logistic fulfillment for the seller because of that network structure and because the impossibility for us to do that. But with all the knowledge that we have about tariffs, cross-border, etc., yeah, we can share that knowledge to our sellers and help them how they can set up their own logistic across Europe, because it's something that I think you need a lot of experience in. You see that logistic hubs are usually national, and if you want to go cross-border, yeah, you need to find your line hauls to the different countries. If you don't have enough volume, you need to combine with maybe some partners that you can fill trucks to be efficient. And yeah, I think that's a very interesting network where you can really become more efficient and improve your cross-border sales as a seller.
On that point, cross-border, let's talk about geography. Let's talk about the Nordics. I mean, the Nordics, not that crowded. We're talking like 25 million people, addressable market, maybe 20%. I mean, how many, open question to all of you, how many marketplaces is there room for in the Nordics?
The $100 million question.
That's right.
If I would answer that, I think first of all, the market right now in the Nordics is around 160 billion. Swedish is the biggest market with around 60 million. And I think that we don't have a real clear leader in the Nordic landscape like we have in other countries. You have Amazon in Germany, you have around between 15-20% of the e-commerce, and you have the similar pattern in many other countries. I don't think it's in the Nordics. Doesn't necessarily need to be winner takes it all, but if you look at the multi-category model, as Amazon are doing or similar, where they're selling basically everything, of course, I think there are a limited number of positions in the Nordics, definitely. How many? Very hard to say.
Yeah. But I guess you're right, Magnus, and as we know from ourselves, it's not many marketplace or web shops we can relate to. 3 or 5 you actually are using. So in the end, I guess it will be the customer of ours who will decide how many marketplaces there will be in the future. If you look to the US, Amazon is dominating with over 50% of e-commerce sales over there. And I think we will see some of the same here. But that said, I also think there are room for niche players. So there will be some niche players that will succeed very well. But for the big broadline marketplaces, I think there only will be a few in the Nordic in the end. But we have to do the job, but it's the customer who will decide who are doing it best, I guess.
Right. Yeah, your point?
Yeah, I think we cannot tell for sure. In the US, there are quite a lot of smaller marketplaces. But if you look at Germany and France, which are 2 countries more close by, Germany is really dominated by Amazon and eBay. That together, I think they take the big majority of all the marketplace sales. If you look at France, there you have CDiscount, Rue du Commerce, Price Minister, which are all quite big marketplaces by themselves. And you see also a lot of new marketplaces popping up. So I think the number of marketplaces will increase. Also because it just becomes cheaper to make a marketplace. Technology becomes more easily affordable. But I don't know where it's going to. If also in the Nordics it will more go to the German model or to the French model. I think it's open, and as you said, the customers will decide what will happen.
But I think in the Nordic, I also think we need a strong marketplace because we have also a lot of potential partners and merchants who are doing their business today. And for them to onboard, for example, Amazon, 100,000 of partners, 250 million SKUs, your product will in a way drown. And we are good here in the Nordic, so I think together we can build a very strong marketplace with strong local partners. And we know the Nordic customer like to buy locally as long as we have good products and good prices and good services, and we can do that.
Right. So time is running out. Just a quick last question. Maybe one of you can answer that one. If you compare Alibaba to Amazon, Alibaba has more strategy pulling merchandise into China, being the gateway to China. Amazon is more like every market they assess, they focus on that market more domestically. So last question to you, Magnus, actually. What's your strategy in the future? Are we talking about Nordic-based distribution and selling, or also international into the Nordics?
Both, I think, and we're doing both today. We are focusing from a consumer perspective only on the Nordics, but from a merchant perspective, we do have partners in Sweden and in all the Nordic countries, but also from outside the Nordics, of course, selling into the Nordics. So for us, it's both.
So the gateway to the Nordics as well. That's
yeah, I mean, in one way or another, of course, you want to be able to help merchants that are abroad to become bigger in this market. Absolutely.
Good. A big thanks to you all. Maybe if the panel have any questions?
Wait, I think we have a couple of questions from our panel. Louise?
Okay.
Yeah, I don't really have a question, but I thought it was interesting with the Mentimeter question that we had, the results. Yeah, it seems like there's some skepticism still towards marketplaces, so I just think it's good to have this kind of discussion to hear more about it.
So, gentlemen, in 30 days, 15 hours, 11 minutes, and about 30 seconds-ish, it's going to be the Black Friday. Is this something that is keeping you awake at night right now, and how are you preparing for all the masses to come in and shop at your places?
It's a big day. It's a big day for the consumer, and in Komplett, this is a very, very fun day we are working towards. So we are using a lot of time on preparing on this one.
Yeah, for us, it's a big day, but we are very strong in home and garden products. So that means in the spring we have a lot of sales as well. So the peak in the end of year peak and the spring peak are a bit the same. So in fact, we already know what to expect, and we are ready for it.
I wouldn't say keep me awake in a bad way. I'm more excited about Black Friday and see what we will do this year. We had a bumpy Black Friday last year because the volume were tremendously high, and we had a new warehouse. But I think it's going to be a fantastic day.
I have a little fun story on this one. Our CEO, responsible for the web platform, and our responsible for the Komplett Nordic, Anton Hagberg, they have bet if the web goes down, the CEO has to give him a kasse. What is a kasse of beer? Okay. And the web almost stays up, but when it goes down 11 o'clock in the evening, so next day he has to go and give him a couple of a box of beers. This time we still have a bet going, so he hoped next time, this year, he will have to go the other way around. We have a huge amount of traffic on this evening.
So Johan, Magnus, Hugo and Kio, thank you so much. A big hand for the guys.
Thank you.